Uttarayanam and transforming, coming to Dakshinayanam. And this sun movement is very important for all of us, suns. And as per our rishis and manis, notice that the Rasi, there are 12 Rasis, and sun in each Rasi he moves into. Earlier he was in Mithuna Rasi. Now tomorrow he is entering into Karkataka Rasi. That's what we call Karkate, Karkate. In this Karkataka Rasi, when the Purva Palguni Nakshatram, just yesterday it was Purva Palguni, but sun was not in Karkataka Rasi. Sun was in only in Mithuna Rasi. So Goda Devi's birthday come only when we celebrate the Tirunakshatram of Andal Tirunakshatram, when sun moves into Karkataka Rasi. So, same way we have the Karkataka Rasi is tomorrow itself is moving, and day after tomorrow onwards the Ayanam is changing from Uttarayanam to Dakshinayanam. What is this Ayanam changing? We already discussed earlier. It is the movement of sun. The sun is also taking a sun does move? Yes, he does. He moves and Rauratiti. There is a saying in Sanskrit, Rauratiti Ravihi. Not simply he moves with big bomb, like a big sound. That is a Pranava Akam, that is Pranava Nadam he makes. So that movement is, we always have to, Pradakshinam we can say, first he moves towards the Dakshinam. That is the first movement, and from south to north. From the southern side to northern side he moves to. Now he was in the Dakshinayanam starts from tomorrow. Actually tomorrow he enters, but actual calculation we always say Dakshinayanam from day after tomorrow early morning onwards. When you say Sankalpam, we always say Dakshinayane. Now this Narayaniyam, what is the speciality? Why these 10 days are important? I already mentioned. Because at the end of the Ayanam, end of Uttarayanam, whatever prayers we do, it is easy for us and immediately instant results. But what about Dakshinayanam? Dakshinayanam is a night to gods, that's what I say. All these days it was the day, daytime is done. Now night is entering, evening time is entering to the gods. That's what we all say, 6 months is the night. So during night time, there is always a threat of all the evil thoughts and evil things may happen. So that's why in the Dakshinayanam column, all the 6 months, we are supposed to do more and more prayers. More prayers we need to pray. That's why our ancestors, our rishis, munis immediately say, Chatur Masa Vrata Diksha. This is another way. One niyamam we keep and we always want to recite something, and throughout this, that is Chaturmasa Vrata Diksha, and sit in one place, stand, and then important things to give to the disciples. So all the things they were sitting, Guru Shishya Sambandham will be more intensive, and that is the reason Chaturmasa Vratam. Those who want to learn something, they always go and visit during this Chaturmasa Vratam. They visit the teacher and reside near the Gurukulam and learn something. These are all the things happen. And also Vedavyasa Maharshi, he was Vyasa Guha. He decided and gave us all the 18 Puranas and the great work of Mahabharata, 100,000 verses of Mahabharata. All these are composed by Vedavyasa Maharshi during this Chaturvasa Vedavyasa. Now this Narayaniyam reciting during this, actually because of it gives instant results, these 10 days. These 10 days we get instant results, and also it is a saying of expressing our gratitude for all these 6 months. He protected us, he gave us, he made all our endeavors are fulfilled. So we have to say thanks to that way. That is a way of gratitude, expression of our gratitude. Now coming to Sriman Narayanayam, is a devotional work. Long back, I always once again, I'm a gist of Narayaniyam. Once you should keep, and it should be in your mind. The Srimad Narayanam is a devotional work of little over 1000 verses, or 1036 verses it was, 1000 verses by the famous devotee poet. He is called devotee come poet. So, devotee poet Sri Melputtur Narayan Bhattatiri, who lived in Kerala in the 16th century AD. This work is acclaimed by scholars as a Stotra Kavya. It is as a Stotra Kavya. But though it won't it have any spiritual meaning? Yes, it has. But literary merits are so much, so it comes under the category of Stotra Kavya. A superb outpouring of devotion as well as literary work of a very high order. The stotra word is actually for spiritual only. Whom you praise, that is only the creator, that is the Almighty, the Sriman Narayana. So stotra kavya goes for the super outpouring of the devotion as well as a literary work of a very high order. It is a masterly condensation of Srimad Bhagavata Puranam. This is our interest. Because we are not able to recite Bhagavata Puranam in 10 days. It may be, because Saptaham also they could. 18,000 slokas to complete in short time. But this is the condensed form of the condensation of Srimad Bhagavata, considered to be the greatest of all the Puranas. Bhagavata Puranam is the highest power. We always say that because it is not a work, it is not a grandham. It is only Krishna himself. We always praise that Krishna himself is in the form of Bhagavata Puranam. So that's why here also Narayaniyam, the Krishna's appearance and Krishna's anugraham we get easily by reciting Narayaniyam. Only 1000 slokas. In the 18,000 slokas of Bhagavatam come to us in 1000 slokas. So that's why it's made easy for us to understand, to recite the Bhagavata Puranam. In addition to being a devotional work, Sriman Narayaniyam contains the gist of all the Upanishads. Remember, this is very important for all of us. It is the essence of all the Upanishads. There are about Upanishads are innumerable, but they counted them as the categorized 10 important Upanishads. Dasa Upanishad. And all they contain the gist of all the Upanishads and is therefore a work of great significance from the Vedantic point of view also. That means, Isake nakata prasna munda mandu kyatitiri aitare yante chando gyam bruhadaranyakam dasa. All the Upanishads you need not go through. The essence of reading, essence of teachings of all the Upanishads are given beautifully in the Narayaniyam. If you recite Narayaniyam, that itself shows that you have already gone through all the Upanishads. Upanishad reading is also done just by reading Narayaniyam. And here there are, every day we are learning something about this thing. That Melputtur Narayan Bhattatiri was a unique personality, erudite Sanskrit scholar, and Narayan Bhattatiri was a poet, and Narayan Bhattatiri was a bhakta, that is devotee, and also a Vedantin. So imagine the audacity of a young man in his 20s attempting a summary of this particular Bhagavata Puranam, that Veda Vyasa's Bhagavatam in Sanskrit hymns. He was around 27 years, I think, Narayan Bhattatiri. When he composed the Narayaniyam, he was very young. At that time, it is all Krishna's blessings. If Krishna Anugraham is there, what cannot be done? Everything can be achieved. So here we have the, though it is meaning Narayaniyam is a master, we already discussed about this. Srimad Narayanam is a masterly condensation of the famous Bhagavata Mahapuranam, we always call that one, and was composed by Melputtur Narayana Bhattacharya, a great devotee poet who lived in Kerala during the 16th century AD. The Bhagavata, the Bhagavad Puranam, consisting of about 18,000 verses that we discussed, has been summarized in this particular Narayaniyam, this work, Narayaniyam, in about 136 verses, divided into 100 dasakams. We call 100 cantos. This was, so that's why 100 cantos, that's why we have almost come to the 50th canto we have completed, because it is already 5th day. And 10th day we complete 100 dasakams. All the 100 dasakam we will be able to complete. And each dasakam contains 10 slokas. That's why total slokas around 1000. The total in number is 1036 slokas. The author of this work, Melputtur Narayan Bhattacharya, was born about the year 1560 AD. That's why we always have 16 AD, 16th century. But in a village near the famous temple, the Tirunavaya in Kerala. Even at a very young age, he mastered the Vedas and the Vedangas. He learned Mimamsa and other Shastras from his father, Matrudatta, and the Vedas from the one Madhavacharya, and the science of logic, that is Tarka, from his elder brother, Damodara. And the Sanskrit grammar from the Achyuta Pisaroti. Here is the word, because when he was learning Sanskrit grammar, with that teacher, he got the affinity, more affinity, and he has the Acharya. As a Acharya Sambhavana to give something to, here Narayan Bhattacharya gave his total health to him, and he immediately received his disease on him. This is really a great sacrifice. One as disciple the maximum one can offer to the Guru, because it is here, there is a saying here, the maximum everyone want to give, that is not troubling them, but it is really troubling him. He wanted, he has to face every day with the disease, but still he prepared to in his mind, yes, let my Acharya be great, let my Acharya be always happy and healthy, let him, do the propagation of all the good things, the way how he taught good things, the way he can teach to many more. So he should be always long live, let him be. That was the good intention. If I am not okay, but no problem, let it be. I have. But Krishna is all the way ready to bless everyone, isn't it? If he has some purpose, that is the reason. The thought, every thought when we get in our mind, we always sometimes say, it is my greatness, I got this thought. No. It is as per the spiritual things, we always say each and every thought is given by Krishna only. That's why we always say Anta Bhagavat Sankalpam. It's all his Sankalpam. When he decided to give something, to cure somebody, and to make somebody to get the things done, it is he who create that situation, and this one has to understand in this Narayaniyam when we are reciting this one. That's why when you have that feeling that each and every situation is given by Krishna, we never say it is good situation, it is bad situation, it never come in our mind. Whether it is people are good, people are bad, never, we cannot blame anyone. Everything is according to our karma. We always face this one. But still, even sometimes, that we have to we can say, overrule all our difficulties and sins. Krishna can bless us. Krishna can do some miracles in our life. That's what that thing happened in the Narayana Bhattacharya's life. He was a young man, about around 27, around that time. And he got this paralytic attack of this disease because it is not a natural one, but he took it from his teacher, and he gave his good health to him in return. And this is the thing, anybody can do that? Yes, it can be. How it can be done? It is because, and when you have intention to do something, it is through your mind. Everything is through your sankalpam, through your feeling. Once if you bless the others, how you bless them? We always bless with mind. That sometimes some people say, oh, to bless, we have to travel and we have to go in flight or something. No. But our presence also makes a difference for them. So we go and bless it in person, but blessing always happen in mind. Same thing with the Narayan Bhattacharya. In his mind, he thought of giving good health to his teacher, to his acharya. Immediately it happened because of the thought is very pure. Pure thoughts always work immediately. And then he wanted to receive the disease, what his teacher was suffering. He immediately started suffering that. But he did not feel bad. He did not feel bad because he did a good thing to that. Okay, this I can bear. But the disease has come to that stage, unbearable things it happened. So another teacher, he told him, why don't you compose? It is also Krishna's words. Krishna's words always come through somebody's words to our ears. That's why always pay attention. If somebody talk some good things, pay attention and listen to them. It may be Krishna's words, maybe. So the same thing happened. Narayan Bhattacharya immediately decided to compose the Dasa Avatara Leela Avatarams. This is the one made. That's why we have to recite this Bhagavata Puranam to know the Leelas of Krishna and the Avatarams of Sriman Narayana, Bhagavata Puranam. So when you are not able to read 18,000 slokas in one stretch, at one stretch one can recite 1,000 slokas. These are all the beautiful way of saying this Narayaniyam. That's why even in some traditional families, we can say that Sampradaya Kutumbam, they recite this Narayaniyam daily because they recite this one for daily, for good health and also for good wealth. If the health is good, one can definitely get the wealth. Arogyame Mahabhagyam. This way. So here in that way, the Narayaniyam is coming here. Now, we have to talk about today, so many, Anuvakams, Dasakams we have come already. But some of the Dasakams, which we have started, actually it was up to 5th Dasakam we have come. Now we have come to the 50th Dasakam. The 50th Dasakam we have come. But still some of the things, let me see how much we can say. Whatever Krishna wants to say, that let me see. Srimate Ram. Here, in the Narayaniyam, Dasakam 8, verse 13, that is the sloka 13. This is, some of them they have selected, our Purvacharyas say, it is a powerful mantra to cure any sort of diseases, any sort of disease. It may be incurable disease, but still it can cure. That particular sloka is Asmin Paratman Nanu Padma Kalpe Tvamitta Mutta Pita Padmayoni Ananta Bhuma Mama Rogarasi Nirundi Vataraya Vasa Vishnu. Because in the sloka, how one can, like in Sudarshan Satakam, when we were reciting Sudarshan Satakam, Sriman Satuluri Gopalakrishna Mahan Bhava, he did 108 Sudarshana homams and all the things he got, and he gave us which sloka, when you have no time to recite all the 100 slokas, and when you have fear of mispronunciation, or sometimes it may happen in our mind, oh, I don't want to touch, this is not good. At that time, he has given a very good suggestion that at least one sloka, but take that one sloka 40 times and 40 days. That's the number 40, that is very Chatvarimshatatama Pariyayam. So there's a mandala kalam in Sanskrit, another one is one complete cycle is mandalam. So mandala kalam, if you recite the mantra, is mantra siddhi you get. Whatever you desire, you immediately able to fulfill. So the same thing, if you have something in your mind for health-wise, if somebody is not well, and because everywhere the news in the TV or even the iPhones or in the Facebooks or anywhere, wherever you look into that, immediately we see the horror of this COVID effect. So this is the right time to recite Narayaniyam, we felt. Even those who have not able to recite the 1000 slokas or even 100 dasakams, even not even one dasakam, if they are not able to, at least one sloka, this sloka in the 18th, the 18th dasakam, that is 8th one, 18th no, sorry. The dasakam 8, the sloka 13. 8th dasakam, Ashtama dasakam, and sloka 13, that is Trayodasa slokam. Here that one, Asmin, if I say, can you repeat for a thing, those who are already in the telebridge? Asmin Paratman.
Asmin Paratman.
Nanu Padma Kalpe.
Nanu
Padma Kalpe. Tvamitham.
Tvamitham.
Utthapita.
Utthapita.
Padmayonihi.
Padmayonihi.
Ananta Bhuma.
Ananta
Bhuma. Mama Rogarasim.
Mama Rogarasim.
Nirundhi.
Nirundhi.
Vatalaya Vasa.
Vatalaya Vasa.
Vishnu.
Vishnu.
Asmin Paratman Nanu Padma Kalpe Tvamithtamuttapita Padmayoni Ananta Bhuma Mama Rogarasi Nirundi Vatalaya Vasa Vishnu. And these are all the things. This is actually given by Sriman, has been personally recommended by the sage of, Kanchi Mahaperiya Mahaswami. Kanchi Mahaperiya Mahaswami. It's a Chandrasekharendra Saraswati ji. For people afflicted with serious diseases, particularly the incurable ones, which is the thing, that is the one which is the verse 13 from the 18th to the 2nd. Remember that one. And now coming to the other discussions we will have. Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha. Alvar Embirmanar Jiyar Divya Trivigale Saranam. Some of the here, like random check, we always say, like random, some slokas we let us take and see. It is in the Dasakam eighth Dasikam, just now we recited anyhow, that particular sloka, let us see what is it. It's given. In the Dasakam 8, the full Dasakam we can recite, we can know the meaning, but the 8th Dasakam, let me see, we have already. Sri Rama. Dasakam 8. That is, the 8th Dasakam means it has a compared of 10 slokam. Dasakam means 10 slokas. The first sloka gives, after the great deluge, God Brahma, who took birth on the very first Brahma Kalpa day, got the Vedas from you, O Sri Krishna, O Guruvayur Swami, and began the task of creation as in the previous Kalpa. That's why we always, when you do Sankalpam, अस्मां श्री महाविष्णु आज्ञया प्रवर्तमानस्य अद्य ब्रह्मणः द्वितीय परार्धे some people say आद्य ब्रह्मणः. What is adya and adya difference? Adya means right now, today. Who is the brahmana, the brahman? And adya, the who was the first and the kalpam, the first one. So that's why we always say adya brahmanah dvitiya parade sri sweta varaha kalpe. The kalpams are different. Vaivasvata manvantare, the manvantaras and all that. When you do sankalpam, these are all the different things. Now coming to the sloka, it is in the previous kalpam, that was the one. And Brahma spent 1,000 fourfold yugas. That is, what are the fourfold yugas? Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. All these called, once you complete this circle, we call, and many, these are 1,000 fourfold yugas of that Brahma spent as a day. 1,000 for the yugas, all the 4 yugas were done, one kalpam, as a day, and as many as a night to him. Several times, along with his creation, he sleeps and merged in the hence his night is known as Naimittika Pralaya, a deluge having a reason. That's why Pralaya means to sleep. That's why Naimittika Pralaya. Here comes, as each day begins with thy blessing, Brahma goes on with the act of creation. As we perform our daily rituals at dawn, those long-living souls born in the earlier Brahma Kalpa also wake up at the dawn of the new Kalpa, also the long night's sleep. So these are all the Brahma Kalpam, these are all the things, the cycle of the creation, how it goes. And the 4th sloka says, the Brahma has now completed one Parartha. So, on half his age, that is 50 years, Parartha. So, O Lord Krishna, let me now relate the strange playful events that were enacted by you in the preceding rite and the following morning of Brahma. So, when the kalpa changes again, everything, the creation starts. So, here what is this kalpa? The calculation is 1,000, our 1,000 years into 4 yugas is a 1 day of Brahma kalpa. And similarly, our 1,000 into 4 yugas is equal to 1 night of Brahma kalpa. 1 day and 1 night. So, and here, that means our 2,000 years into 4 yugas is 1 day plus 1 night of Brahma. That is 360 days for us. 360 days for us, including nights of Brahma. There is 1 year of Brahma. So we have already, we always say, Sarvari is done and now it has come Plava. It's 1 year. That is only 365 days. But for Brahma, what is 1 year? That is, there is all the calculation is so great. Here they say, So in this way, 1 year of Brahma is 100 years. That means when you say that 100 years of Brahma, Brahma's full age, which is the duration of the great deluge, Mahapralayam, that we call that. So now coming to the sloka 5 in the Dashakam 8, at the end of the day, at the end of this day, Brahma, feeling sleepy, lay merged in the worlds also took refuge, in the abdomen, and the universe became a huge ocean of water. That is the Pralaya Payodhi. In Krishna, everything come into his belly, what we call actually Bhaja. Krishna Kararavindena Mukharavindam Kararavindena Padaravindam Mukharavinde Vinivesayantam Vatastya Patrastya Puteshayanam Balam Mukundam Manasa Smarami. In Sloka 6, when the entire universe was enveloped in water, that Pralaya, Mahapralayam, everywhere is water only, you being the soul of complete bliss, Brahmanandam, resting on Adishesha, king of serpents, that is, who is another manifestation of yours only, became deeply immersed in self-concentration. Here in the Sloka 7, Dasakam 8, there are a host of forces including Kala Shakti, or the force of this another thing, Kalaya Tasmai Namaha, we always say that time remained much in thee, though having commanded the force of the time to awaken, then at the end of the deluge indulged in the yogic sleep. And this in the sloka, the Vishwakarma in the sloka 8, Dasakam 8. Here he says that Kala Shakti, we just now we said power, that time has got. That's why we always say, oh, everything we are doing, but they are not giving any good results. Because it is the power of the time. When the times are good, all your thoughts immediately get fulfilled. But if the times are bad, whatsoever is the maximum effort you do, it never gives any good result. So this force of the time, the force of time awakened thee after thou had slept for 1,004-fold yugas. And O Lord, Guru Vayurappa, who are lying on the ocean of bed, awakening, though through a collective glance of all the worldly merged in thyself, all the worldly things and all the worlds, the entire universe merged in thyself. That is the one. Then they say, then three sprouted from the navel, then they sprouted from the navel an exotic divine lotus bud, embodying the essence of all the objects merged in thee. And then in the sloka 11 say, that lotus bud which came from thy navel rose up from the waters and spread into the radiant light all around, chasing away all the darkness. That is it. And in sloka 12 it says, in that marvelous full blossom lotus, held up by thy yogic power, arose Brahma, known as Padma Janma, we call that one, lotus born. And with the entire set of Vedas committed instantly to his memory. Now coming to this is the 13th sloka of the Dashakam 8, that is the last sloka, and this is almost like a Phalashruti. The Phalashruti sloka only, that recommended by our Kanchi Mahan Bhava. So he said, O Lord Vishnu, who art enshrined in Guruvayur, O great soul, O thou of eternal glory, who thus awakened Brahma in Padmakalpa, may thou remove all my afflictions. That is the final word is, may thou remove. May thou remove means you, please, O Krishna, please remove all my afflictions. What are the afflictions? All sort of difficulties and diseases and all the, because we always play, afflictions are sufferings. Yeah. Now coming to the Dashakam 9, here, sitting on the lotus on thy navel, Brahma was perplexed as to where from the lotus sprang up in the ocean. Eager to find out, he turned his face all round, thereby acquiring four faces. With four faces, that is why we call him a Chaturmukha, all the four directions. He started looking from where this lotus has come. And finally, he said, sitting in the lotus, and seeing only the unsupported lotus in the mighty ocean, and not perceiving thy divine form propping it up, Brahma started wondering about his own identity, seated all above in his huge lotus, and about its origination. That's why Brahma, what is another name for Chaturmukha? Swayambhu. He says, oh, there is nobody, I am the only, the one who has come out. So Swayambhu, convinced that this lotus could not be unsupported and determined to find its origin. When you do not know the origin, you feel, you declare also. You are in families also, in many families I say, we don't know any of our ancestors, we have no connection, we have no knowledge about. So we are the beginners. No, it is not, unless you have to go through and find its origin. Then Brahma, who was highly intelligent, descended through the hole in the stack of the lotus by his yogic power, but was still unable to locate thy extremely charming form, O Krishna. But he could not still locate your charming form and your existence. Even after delving deeply through every hole in the lotus stack and searching frantically for 100 divine years, Brahma could not find anything. Then giving up the search, and he sat in a relaxed posture within the lotus, and with the mind focused only on one point, he went into deep trance, invoking only thy grace. See, when with your human mind, when you wanted to learn something, know about God, you make so many efforts. No, even Brahma could not get the power of the looking or even having the darshan of Lord, because the darshan of Lord we get only the grace of Lord falls on us. That's the thing, but in the Narayanam, so beautifully they say, so invoking only thy grace. For that, what Brahma did? He did on deep trance, relaxed posture, like a yogic posture, like in Bhagavad Gita in the 6th chapter. Krishna himself describes beautifully about the Atma Samyama Yogam. That is the Atma. So relaxed posture, which some people call that as a Dhyana Yoga, but Atma Samyama Yoga I say. Pure posture within the lotus, and with his mind focused only on one point, that is Ekagrata. That is Ekagrata. He went into deep trance, invoking only thy grace. After spending this Dashakam 9, Sloka 5. After spending 100 divine years in state of deep trance, Samadhi, Brahma, cleansed by the pure wisdom, acquiring thus, was granted the wonderful, never before seen, the vision of yours, the vision of thee, lying majestically on one side on the body of the serpent, that Adishesha, seeing this marvelous vision through his mind's eye, Brahma was overjoyed. He could not turn his face here and there, he could not do anything else, nothing. He was really almost in the way staring at that point, and he could not even blinking of the eye also he could not do that. We always say that. That means he immediately enjoyed. When sometimes when you have so much enjoyment, so much happiness, even we forget to blink our eye. We forget also. We never want to close the eyelid. In the same way, Brahma is actually overjoyed. That was the we want to say. He was overjoyed. O Lord, I worship the divine form which was shown to lotus-born God Brahma. That divine form resplendent with the brilliant crown, adorned with bangles, necklaces, and shoulder bracelets, and gem-studded waist belt, dressed in the elegant yellow silk cloth, and radiant Kaustubha jewel, round the neck and sparkling like the Kalaya flower. These are all the way how our mind should pray. In the Narayanam, when you go, in the Dasakam 9, Sloka 6, how Brahma got the vision of, not this vision, when he was doing in the meditation, he could see the Sakshatkaram of Krishna, Sriman Narayana, that. So that Sakshatkaram, that Guru Vayur, Mail Pattur, Narayana Bhattacharya, immediately looking at Krishna and asking him to bless him with that grace, with his vision, the grace of his vision. That's all. Immediately, Narayana, Krishna came, because if any request is a genuine one, immediately God listens that. From that Murti, Krishna came out. From the Guru Vayur Murti, he came out and he started sitting next to Narayana Bhattacharya. While composing, this is the great speciality of the Narayaniyam. While it is composed, while it was composed by Narayana Bhattacharya, Krishna was just in front of him and also looking at his face and encouraging him by nodding his head. And where there are some doubt, lest yesterday we described all those things in Telugu. Where there are some perplexity came, how to complete this particular one, am I able to do this? And the thought is not got stopped. Then look at Krishna. Immediately the flow started coming. These are all the things. When you have the feeling of that Krishna is in front of us and Krishna is taking care of everything, then immediately you will understand those things. There is enough for us. Today, our bhavana is very important. That bhavana, as long as when you go to Devalayam, temple, worship with that bhavana, that he is blessing us. He is ready to bless us, and also the way you look into him, it is not that whether it is the metal or it is a wooden one, what is the murti is made of, it is not the thing. But what is the power within that murti, if you look into that, immediately that reflects in your heart, and immediately that you become energized. You immediately become like activate. You get activated with all those things. That's the thing. And the blessed Brahma with unlimited skill for the creation, because the God's blessings are there. Once God's blessing, even a ray of, we can say the blessing, we call anugraham, a ray of anugraham, mercy, falls immediately like a ray of light, dispels all the darkness. Same way, the ray of God's anugraham that immediately falls on us. Everything we can immediately perform. Here, Narayan Bhattacharya, the blessed Brahma, and with unlimited skill for the creation of three worlds, and urged him to do penance again, though or the personification of accomplishment, encouraged Brahma to pray to thee with more intense fervor, and delighted him with more boons than he asked for. That's why we always say, when you ask one, if Krishna is pleased, he gives 100 immediately. So the same thing it happened. Then God Brahma did penance for 100, divine years, and acquired more strength for penance and more intelligence than ever before. Seeing the lotus trembling in the water due to the wind, he inhaled both the wind and water, heartened by thou moral support. Now coming to the conclusion of the ninth Dasikam, the Sloka 10. Once more, by thy blessing, O Krishna, by your blessing, once more, God Brahma, with the lotus as base, created the three worlds and began the creation of living beings. O Guru Vairappa, I may thou of such infinite mercy protect me by thy compassion and filled glances. Thy compassion filled glances. This is today's prayer. We pray to Guru Vairappa, to all our Srinivasa, Ramanuja, Antarjatiya, Pravatana Goshti devotees, those who are in the close, like Antarangika Sishyas we call. And also just around, the followers are about 214,000. 214. It may come to 217 also. 214,000 people, those who are around the world, around the universe, all over. And this is Krishna's blessings, Krishna's mercy can go to any corner of the universe. So let everyone receive the blessings of Krishna, that is of Guru Vayur. Once more, O Krishna, by thy blessings, God Brahma with the lotus as base and created the three worlds and began the creation of living beings. O Guru Vairappa, may thou of such infinite mercy protect all of us by thy compassion-filled glances. Sarvam Sri Krishna Pranamastu. Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Sri Krishna Yadubhushana Narasakha Srungara Ratnakara Lokadrohi Narendra Vamshadhana Lokeswara Devatanika Brahmana Goganarti Harana Nirvana Sandhayaka Nikun Mrukyada Trumpave Bhavaratal Nityanukampanadhi Nikun Mrukyada Trumpave Bhavaratal Nityanukampanadhi Leela Balaka Vesaya Devaki Bhagyarate Vasudevaya Dhiraya Sri Krishnaya Astu Mangalam Mangalam Sri Kurukshetre Ranakshoni Viharane Parthasarathirupaya Gitacharyaya Mangalam Bharadvaja Kulamruto Dhatividho Acharya Pithe Situhu Srinivasa Ramanujarya Guru Aptagaman Tatpadarchanadharakam Manu Mani Dhyano Lasanmanasam Ramakrishna Macharyam Asmadgurum Aham Bhaje Parthasarathim Gitacharyam Asmadgurum Aham Bhaje. శ్రీమన్నారాయణాచార్యమస్మద్గురుం అహం భజే. సర్వే భవంతు సుఖినః, సర్వే సంతు నిరామయాః, సర్వే భద్రాణి పశ్యంతు, మా కశ్చిద్ దుఃఖభాగ్ భవేత్. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. జై శ్రీమన్నారాయణ.